Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. It's time for episode 4 of our whole hog butchering video. In this episode, we're going to cover smoking our bacon, our hocks, and our ham and getting those ready for the freezer. So stick around. We've got our half of our bacon pulled up here out of the fridge. We'll do the other half after we do this. What we're going to do is, you can see how it's created kind of its own brine in here. We've been handling a little bit, so it moved around a little bit, but you can see it's created its own liquid. It's drawn the liquid out of that bacon. So we're going to take this out of the bag and we're going to rinse this off under cold water. And we're going to rinse off all those excess spices and the excess salt and cure and everything off of the outside of this bacon. And then we're going to pat it dry, and then we're going to put it on some drying racks on this cookie sheet and put it back in the refrigerator for a whole 24 hours. So let's get to rinsing. Got our bacon on our drying racks. We're going to take some paper towel and we're going to pat this as dry as we can get it, but it'll dry real good in the fridge, uncovered, overnight. And then tomorrow we'll get these in the smoker. Now the reason this bacon needs to sit in the refrigerator overnight and dry is it develops what's called a pellicule. It's a dry surface, kind of almost sticky. And when you put that in the smoker, that's going to allow the smoke to stick a lot better, and you'll pick up more smoke flavor. It's now the next morning. Our bacon slabs have dried beautifully overnight. They got a nice pellicule to them. So it's 0 degrees outside right now, and the wind chill is minus 35 to 40. But we've started our smoker, and it's running at 150. So we're going to be able to get this done. You can see the smoker we have out in the Benzebo, and it's smoking good, and it's running at 150 degrees. And what I'm thinking is, because it's having to work a little bit harder to keep up in this cold temperature, that it's going to provide a little bit more smoke, because the fan's going to be running much more often. So this might work out to our advantage. 2 of these slabs are going to be on the upper shelves of our smoker, so we went ahead and cut those in half, and then when we slice them, we'll slice them this direction. But it really doesn't matter in your final slice, but on this slice you want to make sure you go across the grain, so that's what we did. And then our bottom slabs we left whole, because they'll be on the lower rack, which is a lot bigger. Here's what she looks like going in. Oh, it's crazy cold out here. Can't take your gloves off very long. So when my fingers thaw out enough, I'm going to go back out there. I'm going to put one of my temperature probes in the slab that's closest to the firebox and on the bottom rack, because that one I believe will be reaching temperature first. We're going to cook these to 150 degrees internal and then pull them off. You don't want to render any fat out of those or anything. That's why we're cooking at 150 degrees. But as the fire fluctuates, it gets up to 160 and so on. So it's going to get a good long smoke, but as thin as those slabs are, it won't take a terrible long time. I'm guessing right now around 3 to 4 hours. Now meanwhile, while our cookie sheets are clear, we're going to go down and get our hocks, and we'll get those pulled out of the brine, patted dry, and put on our sheets here to dry just like we did our bacon. Got our ham hocks in the fridge, so we'll dry those out. We won't have time to smoke them today. We'll smoke those tomorrow. And then our hams that are in this bucket, we'll do the same thing to them tomorrow while these are smoking. Our bacon's just got to 150 degrees, so We're going to shut our barbecue down, and we're going to let this cool down out here because it's pretty much 0 degrees. We're not going to let it freeze, but we're going to let it cool right here on the rack. All of our bacon was cooled off out in the barbecue, and we brought it in. We've cut it into about 1 pound slabs. I don't like the crazy long bacon. This is much more convenient. It's about a little over sandwich size. And we cut up a pound of it here. So we're going to leave it like this, but we'll vacuum seal it tomorrow. I'm going to put this out in the garage to cool down even more. But look at that bacon right there. Doesn't that look delicious? So we'll see you tomorrow when we do the hocks. Alright, it's the next morning. We're going to do the ham hocks today. And on a good turn of events, it's 10 degrees today instead of minus 10 degrees. And we've got an early start. We've got the master built going out there. We're going to go down in the basement and get our ham hocks out of the fridge and get them out there in the smoker. Got our 4 ham hocks in there, and we're using all 4 temperature probes because these are different sizes. They're going to come up to temperature a little bit different times. So because this meat is a little bit thicker than the bacon, we're going to be smoking at 250 degrees, and we're going to smoke until we reach an internal temperature of 145. So let's get this closed up so our fan will shut down. We'll go inside. It's just a waiting game now. Alright, our hocks are all done. They all reach temperature about the same time. Wow. Look at those beauties. That's going to be really good in a pot of beans. Alright, we're going to leave these out here in this frigid temperature and let them cool off. And then we'll get them vacuum sealed and put in the freezer. Kelly's shrink wrapping all our bacon, vacuum sealing it. That's what it looks like. It's about a 1 pound block. I didn't slice it. We'll just slice it whenever we use it so we can make whatever we want out of it. We retrieved our hams from the fridge downstairs, and we've got them all rinsed off and dried. And now we're putting the hams in our stocking net bags. We ordered these just on Amazon. You can just search for stocking net bags for curing ham, and this is what you'll get. They'll come in a little package. These things are so long that I'm able to cut them in half and use 1 for 2 hams. You can see what a nice tight package it keeps your hams in. So now that we've got these hams all wrapped up real nice, we've got our bucket rinsed out. We're going to put our hams back in our bucket, and we're going to soak them in fresh, cool water down in the refrigerator again. And that's going to draw some of the salt and the cure out of just the outer layers of the meat. Otherwise, the outer layers will be a little touch salty. And then once they have a good soak overnight, we'll get them dried out and get them out on the smoker. Next morning now, we've got our hams out of their second rinse, which we did overnight in the bucket in some fresh water. And we've also got our ham hocks out of the garage. They cooled down nicely, and we've got them vacuum sealed for the freezer. These will last up to 5 years in the freezer in these vacuum sealed bags. They're really nice. Now the net bags that we use for these hams, you can see what a nice tight ham that these are going to make. When they cook, they'll hold their shape. But you're not limited to ham on these bags. You could smoke chickens and turkeys in these as well, or any kind of roast that you want to hold together. Instead of trussing it, you can put it in one of these bags, tighten it up real tight, tie a knot, and it holds it together real nicely. Alright folks, we're going to smoke our hams today. We're in here starting early. It's 3 degrees outside. We're baking some bread for our family Christmas party tonight. I've got the master built going. We need to grab our hams out of the fridge in the basement. We're going to go put them on. Got our hams in the smoker. So we're going to close her up. We're cooking at smoking at 250 degrees until we get an internal temp of 145 to 150. Got a beautiful sunshiny day out here in Nebraska. It's hard to believe it's only 5 degrees with the sun out like this on a nice clear day, but it's still chilly. Still see our breath. All right, all of our hams are at or above our temperature that we need. Don't those look good? So we're going to let them cool out here on the barbecue. And we'll bring them in and we will vacuum seal them just like we did the ham hocks a little bit later on today. All right, folks, it's the next morning. We kept our hams, just left them out in the barbecue last night. We had our family Christmas party, and it's actually colder outside than it is in our refrigerator, so they did fine. They cooled down real nicely. Here they are. Don't they look just crazy cool? So we're going to cut our net bags off. We're going to pull those bags off, and then we're going to get these things vacuum sealed, but I may slice a couple slices off for breakfast. You can see what a beautiful ham that is made because that net bag held it nice and tight. Isn't that a beautiful ham? Because we went boneless ham on this hog, we got 4 nice little hams instead of 2 giant hams that are just too much to consume and too hard to deal with. This was so much easier. So I'm going to pull the rest of these bags off. Very nice. I like to do a double seal on these, so I just run the bag in further, lock it back down, and just hit our seal button. That gives us a little insurance on that seal. Sometimes when you're sliding the hams in, it gets maybe a little grease on the plastic. There we go. Isn't that nice? I never get tired of vacuum sealing. Kind of satisfying. I think Kelly likes doing it too. Now we're going to take our 4th ham and we're going to slice it up into some like ham steaks for breakfast. And we could also use those for sandwiches if we wanted to. But we'll get that done now. Alright, there's our 3 gorgeous hams, and we have our ham steaks here that are going to be great for breakfast or sandwiches. Can't wait. Our end pieces made it into the skillet over here. That's going to be breakfast along with some of our farm fresh eggs and Kelly's homemade bread toast. It's going to be great. Now the hams on the hog are not the only thing that you can make ham out of. You can really make ham out of any cut on that pig. I've even seen people make ham out of venison, out of beef. All it is a cure. You can cure any meat in it and make it taste like ham. The commercial people even do it with turkey and chicken. They'll make chicken ham or turkey ham, just like they do hot dogs and anything else. It'll flavor any type of meat. You could take a turkey breast and soak it in this same brine and you'd end up with turkey ham. That's all there is to it, folks. A little bit of smoke in there at the end and you're done. Now, same thing with the bacon. you can make bacon, put that same cure basically on any cut of the meat and turn it into bacon. I've heard of people doing that to their ribs as well and make a bacon flavored rib. That sounds fantastic. I've never tried it, but you can believe that's in my future. Now you can take the pork loin that we cut out of the backs that we make our pork chops out of and make what the Canadians call back bacon or Canadian bacon. It's those nice round medallions from the pork loin. So you're not limited just to the cuts of meat that we used. So we're going to get this ham down into the freezer and start making breakfast. I hope you've enjoyed this series from our hog butchering. We've gone start to finish, which you don't get very often on the channel. Usually they just show a portion. Now, I said previously on one of the other videos what we've done. We've created a playlist that is for these 4 videos that show you start to finish on the hog. You also can just watch them on the normal channel as well. We have them in our Homestead playlist and our butchering playlist. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to string all 4 videos together into one video. That's going to be a fairly long video, but you can get basically bullets of bacon in that video. And that will be up soon, not too long after this one. So until next time, folks, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. We hope you get out and do this stuff yourself. There's a huge cost savings, and you can't get any more satisfying than making your own products at home on your homestead. So see you later. Catch you on the next video. We love you guys. Check it out, folks. Green eggs and ham.